Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you for joining me tonight for the live stream and participating in the chats. Anybody that comes in afterwards to watch the program, I appreciate it. Please leave me your thoughts and comments if you're tuning in after the broadcast. How you doing, Patriot Prepper? DAV. Ha ha! Everybody's hand pink waving. Okay. Well, I tell you, what I've got in my title is "Follow the Money," and we had another New York train wreck. Not another New York train wreck, but another train wreck. That's interesting. And I have college connections, and I've got Secret Service watching. So. That and a lot of other stuff we're going to talk about. Hi, Sinsin. How are you doing? So I hope everybody's had a great week so far with all the stuff that's going on. I know it's tough. Hi, Lucy. Hi, John. But we got people rolling in. John's in from Pennsylvania. You were in last night, buddy. I appreciate you showing up. So what's the news that everybody's heard that I haven't? Has anything popped up in the last 20 minutes since I've been quit checking my sites to see what's going on? Hi, Linda. How are you doing? Sandy, we got happy days. Brighter day. Okay, one after the other. There's Joan. How you doing from Georgia? So, Bubba. Hi, Donna. How are you? And I am working on, I know Donna asked a question about the Vegano situation. I can only say the name one time because the rhythm gets me. So I know there's videos about the Archbishop, but on a channel like mine, it gets zeroed in on. Okay, so I'm going to try to find that video that he posted. I don't know how much of it I can put up, but anyway. You know, we're going to have our picture show Sunday. I'm shooting for 8 o'clock. So you all put that in your memory banks. I'm going to go over some memes and some articles and things that I can't really do as I just talk away. But I had some stuff in my last two broadcasts that I didn't get to concerning what's going on. And everybody that's tuning in during the chats, you know, sometimes I do news reports and I give analysis, okay, and I call it gossip because there's a area for UTizzle for gossip channels, and that way, you know, I can make sure that I'm repeating stuff and we're just talking about high-profile people, the way people are wont to do, inquiring minds, things like that. I'm not a news channel. I noticed in the chats last night, somebody said, this isn't news. What about this and that? Hey, I don't sit and read headlines, okay? I try to put big pictures together, all right? I was talking last night for a reason about Cortez, about Montezuma, okay, and past posts from number 17, which I'll delve into more maybe on Picture Show if I can get away with it without getting in trouble. The bottom line, I was pointing out that in the big picture, what is being brought to the fore right now by the most prominent leaders in the world, Satan, okay? And I talked about a hero's sacrifice. And I was trying to point out that there are people that practice other types besides hero, okay? And it is not new. It is not a conspiracy. It's not crazy talk. I was pointing out that in this hemisphere, in South America and in North America, parts of North America, there were temples built where every day they did that. And you know what I mean, what I'm talking about. And on certain times of the year, they did hundreds of people publicly on top of that temple. Okay. So the point is that the 17th letter was mentioning early in its coming about that there are people who still practice that. And I'll get into that more in the future. I don't want to get in trouble on the channel. But the bottom line is people are talking about, well, reparations. What was it? What is the thing they're trying to push is 16, the thing that the new history they try to push, 1620 or whatever it is. These things that I was talking about was happening. The conquistadors and all that was not very far away in time from that. And it was their normal way of living. And while I'm discussing that, I get something in the chats going, this isn't news. I thought we were going to do news. Well, the whole point of this exercise is for people to wake up around the world that this is a struggle, a battle between good and evil. And like I said, you have Trump talking about it now. You have Putin talking about it, making public declarations in front of hundreds of millions of people about Satan. All right. So, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And I bring it up so people, when they talk to their friends, they're talking about matters of fact in history. They can point to matters of fact in present day that we're in a struggle that concerns our daily lives, our freedoms, our health and well-being, and that of our future, our children. Okay, so that's why I bring those things up, and I bring those older posts up, is so people can make sense. I don't get into the fantastic. I don't talk about lizard people. I don't talk about deep underground dumbs and all this kind of stuff that's going to confuse people. I'm not saying anybody's wrong about spaceships or anything like that. I'm just saying we got to get normal people to wake up and say there's good in this world and there's evil in this world. And if they don't believe it, all they have to do is read Cortez's letters, the letters of the priest that he brought along with him, and some of the correspondence. It's online. It's easily available. And you understand what life was like, civilization was like in many parts of the world, all around the world, where human life was disregarded and used as sacrifice. Okay. So anyway, now I got that in my system. I just don't like being, having a feeling that, somebody's in the chats, they're not seeing what I'm trying to put together and say, hey, I want to hear some news. Well, if you want to, jump from subject to subject or whatever, not focus on the big picture, this isn't the channel for you. Find a channel where you can hear the latest thing. Ian says a third secret of Fatima is about to reveal itself. Well, that's interesting. I thought that the last surviving nun of Fatima already told the secret to Pope John Paul, and what I understood it to be, and I'll discuss this in just so people know what I'm talking about. But anyway, the last secret of Fatima I heard was something akin of a martyr and a person in white robes will be walking over the bodies of martyrs, is what I heard. Something similar to that. Is that what you heard, Ian? But anyway, the miracle of Fatima, that's another story. That's something easily looked up on the DuckDuckGo site, the miracle of Fatima. that happened in the early 20s, and it's very interesting. And I'd like to talk about that more in detail. But some of the stories I didn't get to talk about last night and the night before. Speaking of this business of reparations and this and that, and somebody was talking about Kamala Harris's parents founding the Black Panthers. And, that may have very well been the case. But they had a story where this Angela Davis, Jack Posobiec put up where her ancestors came over on the Mayflower. So she is a big proponent of the Black Panthers since the 1960s, and somebody put it on Twitter. Well, she's a colonizer because her ancestors came over on the Mayflower, and she owes me reparations. So when you put that in the context of history, how about all the people that made it through Montezuma's day? Okay, they weren't just enslaved. Of course, they had slaves. I mean, almost every civilization and society throughout history has had slavery, and it's amazing to me to watch people watching Thomas Sowell's videos on YouTube where he discusses the extent of slavery throughout history, and even the fact of the matter that in America we had people of color, I'll say, that also owned slaves, and these kids doing these videos never were taught that in school. They'd say they're always taught to think that it's just one race that ever had slavery, and that was in the United States, and basically due to our founding of our country, not without the history behind it. But can you imagine descendants of people who were taken up to the top of the temple during Montezuma's day? All of a sudden run around hollering, wanting, hey, that was with slavery. At least you got a chance to be free one day or get out of it, but not when you go to the top of the temple. You're finished pretty much there. Let's see. I'm just looking at chats real quick. Marco Polo report out for public. B-Dog says. Anyway, so I thought that was interesting. And, don't throw stones when you live in a glass house, right? But also people were bringing up the grand jury forewoman last night, and also talked a bit about the night before. No, I'm just seeing what Ian's got to say here. In '96, that the last secret of Fatima would be given out when, in '96, a man claimed to have seen the note in the Vatican vault about it would occur when Russia goes into Ukraine. Oh, well, that's interesting. That's a story I haven't heard yet. But anyway, so you got this Wiccan forewoman. And I said last night, I said, well, might have been the night before, that typically grand juries are secretive, and that they were doing it under a new construct of the law they call lawfare. And so it's a special grand jury that I didn't know what the details of the rules were. But if it was a regular grand jury, I said she'd already be in custody. And I thought to myself, well, people think that's kind of a strong statement to make. But sure enough, who was it put out on Truth Social that she's being checked out for a felony? I'll get to that out they're checking out to see if she committed a felony. She talked to her boyfriend. She admitted that she did that, and some of her statements on TV were also a violation law. So we'll keep an eye on that for sure. But people got into her social media. It turns out she's a Wiccan, and she can do invisibility spells. She can give you a spell on how you can be invisible. Did you know that? And potions and all this stuff. Okay, the Vatican's just reopened the case, Honey says. Well, it's okay, Wanda. We just started. So anyway, she's possibly looking at being charged criminally. And DJT put a truth out, said kangaroo court, no justice for Trump. In an opinion piece that said they may rue the day that they learned of this person's name, this Wiccan. And I'm not going to say her name because she got enough unearned publicity, and that's what she basically is in my book, a publicity seeker. But if she did step over the line and is looking at criminal charges, that'd be great as far as I'm concerned. That'd be great. Teach them a little lesson. Oh, I see. It was in the 1980s. I'm not aware of that case either. That's going to be interesting. We're going to be learning a lot of different things. Okay. Well, Nikki hadn't got in. Oh, that's right. I told her no broadcast today, but I was wrong. So anyway, Thomas Ledwick, we don't talk like in these chats. I'm gonna take you out for 5 minutes, and if you want to come back and read in the description how to behave in the chats and come on back, it's no problem. It's no big deal. But if you're just here to say stuff like that, this is a broadcast I want to have. As I've said before, somebody's 12-year-old niece take a look at 10 years from now. Okay, we don't talk like that. See you in 5 minutes, or not. So anyway, I have to remember I didn't. I gave Nikki the wrong schedule. So anyway, that's a shame. I enjoy having Nikki here. Now, let me go over some of these things. Trump put out a lot of stuff, but Truth Social put out a thing that says Trump says he has no desire to return to Twitter, Facebook after success of Truth Social. A quote from Trump says, "I get a very strong word out on truth, and there's something very beautiful about it," said the former president. Now, I asked the question the other night. I said, how many of you all think Trump's going to return to Twitter, and that it would, if he did return to Twitter, it would blow up the internet? And also, after Facebook said that he could come back, their stock jumped really high. But he's putting up the word that he's not going to come back. And I'm thinking, maybe or maybe not. I'm thinking, if it's going to blow up the internet, he may do that famous look to Twitter comment, okay, about the weather, about a storm. I mean, if it's going to be one of the biggest events in Twitter history for Trump to come back, why not? Why not do it when you got a big message to put out? What did you think was on Facebook, Donna? Trump? He's allowed back on both Facebook and Twitter, but he says he's not going to going to go back on either one. Yeah, I heard about that young lady that says she may be Madeline McCann now. I saw a report on that, and I took some notes on now. She said that she's not sure, but she goes through her life story where her parents don't have photos of her younger than 4 years old, and she has certain facial characteristics that meet Madeline McCann, but she's saying she doesn't want any money. She's not taking any GoFundMe money. And I heard that Madeline McCann's parents are going to get with the young lady and do a DNA test. So we will see. Jamie says it doesn't say Trump has to tweet it. Right. Doesn't say it has to be Trump. That's exactly right. It just says look to Twitter. Maybe Elon Musk. But I think it would be, my personal thoughts is it would be from DJT. Because he's got all those people following, they'll get a notification. We're talking millions of people. And it'll be big news whenever he tweets. I mean, if he tweeted, I hope you guys are having a nice day today, tonight, that would be, oh, Trump, well, everybody be talking about it. I'm just looking here. Yeah, those new nuggets. I'm sure they'll be coming out with McBug nuggets. So I don't eat any of that garbage. So anyway. Now, did you hear this this rancher that they put in jail because he had a run-in with a migrant on his property? That he got out on bail? Somebody set up a give, send, go for him. And they met the requirements to procure his $1 million bail, which I think they had to come up with $100,000. Randy, you're not sure about it? Welcome aboard, Randy. So anyway, yeah, that's good news. Now, if he got on or they tried it on any other site, they would have taken his fundraising down and left him rot in jail. So thank goodness for give, send, go. Yeah, I know. I see that, honey. Yeah, I saw those drawings of the, and they did look like the Podesta brothers, but they claim they have arrested somebody who admitted to it. So that's a deep story there. Hi, Colleen. How you doing? Camperman, how you doing? I'm waiting for Robin to come in. I want to thank her. She bought me a coffee last night. Bought me 5 coffees. I mean, I really appreciate it when she comes in. I want to thank her. And I might as well say this broadcast is viewer supported and creator supported only. I got a link in the chat for anybody who wants to help an old man out. It's probably not the best time to do it, but I'll just go ahead and do it because sometimes I forget. So anyway, I've got a link in the description for a buy me a coffee. If anybody wants to take the heat off me here. Hello, Reba. How you doing? Kim. It's okay. You can always watch what parts you missed. We're at the 24-minute mark. You just back it up when we're done to catch what you missed. Just me belly aching. So anyway, so that rancher got out of jail, and I'm sure he'll be able to mount a defense. They'll keep on sending stuff his way so he can afford good attorneys. And I want to get a on this picture show thing. I got a couple of videos, things I want to share with y'all. Oh, you talking about the plane crash? Now we had that plane crash with the 5 people who were going to do testing in Ohio, and it's very weird that they left from the Bill and Hillary Clinton Airport. Hi, Tennessee, how you doing? Bill and Hillary Clinton. I was going to put a meme up on my thumbnail. I might do that Sunday night and say the hits keep coming. I mean, they're tangled up with so many different hits. And what did Putin say about airplane crashes in the United States? That 70% of them were targeted. That's what he said. I hate to keep quoting Putin, but he's been putting this stuff out for a long time. So, you know, they said even the pilot of that plane was qualified to do testing. So everybody on board was going to come and do water sample, ground samples, whatever kind of samples, and they didn't make it. So if they want to get somebody, it doesn't matter how many others go. You know what I mean? They might not have been. It might not have been all of them, but all it takes is one person that they don't want around anymore. And let's see. So John's back with some comment there. Okay, I didn't read the description about being intelligent. Okay, yeah, Ian, it looks like they were Clinton. And yeah, I got that thumbnail, Donna. Another train derailment. I guess you all have seen videos. There's some of them being posted on Truth Social where, just like the video I have, I'll try to play Sunday, was the one in Ohio had a tractor trailer. I see a train hit a white tractor trailer and people screaming and yelling and train cars derailing. And then this one that happened in New York, there's a blue tractor trailer sitting on the tracks. And sure enough, it gets whopped. And I don't know what the how many cars got messed up or anything like that, but there's been multiple train incidents. Hi, all pandas. How you doing? White Lightning. How you doing? Wanda. Everybody's rolling in. So anyway, yeah. Every train wreck, I'm sure now, is going to be immediately reported on social media and be getting out. How many did they say happened last year? Some ungodly amount. 1,000 in a year? Is that what? I learned how to pronounce his name because I watched a short video where DJT was giving an interview and he said it twice. Boot Edge Edge. That's how you say his name. Pete Boot Edge Edge. He was on Glenn Beck. And he once again mentioned the World War III issue, that we're going to be in the World War III. I appreciate you saying that, White Lightning. Thank you much. Well, the biggest one, Jax, I heard was the Ohio. I haven't heard chemicals out of any other situation. So, oh, y'all making mash. Corn mash. You try peach mash, because you get peach brandy. Just don't put any recipes in here or get me in trouble. You can look at stuff up online. Popcorn Sutton. Yeah, 1,000 a year. White Lightning. So so if that is the case, that there's 365 days a year, so 3 a day on average. If that's been happening and it continues, now he's talking, I'm sure, incidents. Not a we have. There's no way we could have a major catastrophe and derailment 1,000 times last year. Nobody noticed. So it has to be, incidents. It could be anything. Could be a train breaking down on the tracks and having to be switched around or something like that. I don't know what he means by 1,000 incidences. So anyway, Kash Patel's the one who reported that on this Wiccan woman. I just looked at it and in my notes, and from what I remember, let me find it. She broke Georgia law. I might not have took a screenshot of that. She's not easy to look at. But anyway, I don't think I took a screenshot, but Kash Patel put it up there that she could be looking at federal charges. And off the charts, another thing that Trump posted was that over 178 million people viewed his visit and his brief statements when he went down to Ohio, or up to Ohio, over to Ohio. Over 178 million people reportedly watched 45th President Donald J. Trump's visit to East Palestine, Ohio, to meet with members of the community. And another person did an article, and I'm pointing this out because it's like I said about a broadcast I did one time. Somebody said, "Oh, you're covering what's already been on, and we know," or something like that. Well, I talk about the things everybody's talking about. And of course, we're going to talk about the same things sometimes. And somebody wrote an article that called Trump our leader. He may not be our president. It was almost exactly, here he goes on Tucker Carlson's show. Donald Trump is the leader of the country. Blue Line CEO slams Biden for ignoring East Palestine. So that was what I discussed last night. POTUS versus leader. In this situation, it's more important to be a leader. And he's proved to the world that he's the one who's leading the country and really pointing the way as far as the world is concerned. You had Kim Jong-un put out a statement about basically declaring war if certain things happen. If NATO keeps arming Ukraine and pushing like they're doing, there's going to be a war. So now you have China is stepping in, and they're going to meet with Zelensky. Let me find that. Well, Zelensky puts out a statement: "We will not stop until the Russians face quote the judgment of God." So he responds to Putin's speech, where he likened the Western powers to evil, and he and refers to religion, world religions. His response to Putin is that they're not going to stop until the Russians face the judgment of God. So after that statement, you have China announcing that they have a 12-point peace plan. But you have also have Zelensky making public statements criticizing Americans that don't support the Ukraine push. That if Ukraine fails, the U.S. will lose its prestige and NATO will crumble and all this kind of stuff. But then again, I have not heard him say that he won't meet with President Xi from China. The bottom line is, you better. Lone Wolf, you just read an article, made a criminal referral. Is that on that Wiccan woman? They made a criminal referral on, well, to shut her up. And really, those news agencies should have known better. Those childish interviews. Rebus says not all are trains. One is a truck in Arizona, one is uranium in Tennessee, a train in Texas, a train in South Carolina, plant in Ohio, and the latest train is New York. Rebus keeping up with these. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Jax. Yeah. You keep coming back here and keep your chin up. I tell you, we go through these battles in life, and at the same time, we've got this monstrous machine, worldwide machine that just wants to rule over us and make our lives miserable, on top of what we have to go through in life anyway. Oh, they're pushing for criminal charges in the derailment. Okay. That's right, Tennessee. One doing interviews, the Wiccan woman, she's acting like a 12-year-old, giggling. Happy Chew Bears. If UK fails, so does a deep state. That is why they're keep it going. The bear knows this. That's right. Emmy, Niana, how are you? When you were a little girl, you used to make dandelion wine. Ha ha, in the Flintstone jelly jar. Ha ha ha. But only filled it up to Wilma's feet. That's a sweet story. That's a sweet story. So let me just make sure everything's going good in the chats, because I don't have my right hand with me. Nikki, I didn't give her good information. So I'm just going through to make sure everything's okay. I just see that fellow was kind of making fun. Joking around's good, but when people joke about supporting the channel or making rude comments, I don't care for that. So anyway, yeah. Yeah, you remember the Flintstone cups and the Snoopy cup glasses they came out with, and what was that? McDonald's came out with all that stuff, I think. A lot of that stuff. So anyway, well, you get hooked on these chats, don't you? Yeah, Tennessee, if you knock back moonshine thinking it was water, it's going to burn. You got to brace yourself for that. Got to be in the mood for it. But anyway, so you got President Xi is going to be meeting with Putin. I believe he's going to meet with Putin first. He's already had his top diplomat down there. President Xi has. And China offers 12-point peace plan for Russia, Ukraine, as Biden promises escalation and pours another $10 billion into the war. So you got Mr. T talking about the need for peace and the need for people to get together right now, and that he could stop this conflict in 24 hours. So his repeated comments like that, I feel compelled. President Xi and Putin to meet, or at least to get this diplomatic back and forth going. So you have three leaders, Trump, Xi, and Putin, all talking peace and all talking about coming to some kind of resolution to this. And you got this one nitwit, Biden, talking about putting more money in and more weapons. So the 12 points to the that the Chinese are putting forward, I've got them here, and they make sense. I mean, I don't know where anybody had a problem with it. One, respecting the sovereignty of all countries, abandoning the Cold War mentality, ceasing hostilities, resuming peace talks, resolving the humanitarian crisis, protecting civilians and POWs. Okay, that's the first time that's been brought up on the international stage. POWs. Keeping nuclear power plants safe, reducing strategic risks, facilitating grain exports, stopping unilateral sanctions. That's a biggie. Keeping industrial and supply chains stable, and promoting post-conflict reconstruction. 12 points that China has put forth. So, I mean, if they came to that agreement with those 12 points, they also put forth a buffer zone. And if my memory served me correct, it's the half a demilitarized zone, a DM zone, just like they have in North Korea. In South Korea, there's a demilitarized zone. That's where Trump met with Kim Jong-un. And the demilitarized center would go from the breakaway regions that this all began at, Donetsk and Luhansk, all the way up to the Danube River. And essentially half of Ukraine would be demilitarized. That's another suggestion that's been thrown out there. All right, just no weapons in that area, and that's it, and go from there. So it's going to be interesting to see how, hopefully the word will get out about this type of talk. And the genius U.S. Secretary of State Blinken said the U.S. believes immediate truce in Ukraine, it would only lead to the strengthening and rearmament of Russia. No kidding. No kidding. I mean, what do you think they're going to do? Whether or not they go with this peace agreement or not, Russia's not going to be adversely affected to any large degree because it's Ukraine conflict. And they are going to rearm they've already said that they're going to get help from plenty of other countries who'd be happy to do arms deals with them. India will help. China will help. Their oil exports have not fallen. They're making more money, shipping less oil. Their economy's stable despite this conflict. So it's a lose-lose situation for NATO and Ukraine to continue with this. But they're hanging on for dear life because we know what's in those areas. And it ain't just weaponry. The BIOLABS, okay? And if people get in there and start snooping around in the financial situation, the kind of money laundering that's been going on. And that's what I talked about. I had an article where we're talking about you get into the money end of it. Sam Bankman fraud. A judge made him disclose who put his bail money up. And the ties went right back to Stanford University. That's why I was saying college connections. Trump in the past was talking about these endowments of these colleges, particularly Harvard, with $40 billion. So Stanford University is being tangled up in this money laundering. And I guess I could put up articles about that during my picture show, where you have colleges elbow deep in many things as far as giving research and technology as far as weapons are concerned. The professors being on the payroll at $50,000 a month. These colleges getting gifts and for their endowments under specious situations from foreign powers or from groups connected with Georgie Porgy Sorosio, and their curriculum is built around an NWO philosophy and a Marxist philosophy. So there's two big pillars of this NWO that need to be kicked out, and that is the media being dominated by the elements I just talked about and our university system. And the Secret Service, as I mentioned in past broadcasts, I mentioned for my new subscribers, and I'm really close to getting to 1,000. I appreciate my new subscribers, but I will repeat one important fact to keep in mind, that the Secret Service is in charge of investigating and prosecuting international money laundering. They do a lot more than just protect the president and his family. They do a lot more. So there is a report out that somebody tied in with Biden has been charged, and for money crimes, and that could lead right to the big guy. So we're going to have to see how that develops. It's a follow the money storm report. House investigators secure key witness in Biden corruption probe. Okay. John Solomon did an interview where he discussed that. So their layers of insulation are falling away. Oh, that's a story. Now here's one. AJ, everybody knows who that is, right? I can't say the name, don't put it in the chats, but I'll say it, break it up. Alex, and then the next name is Jones, okay? A lot of people, you know him. he was in the news over that lawsuit over Sandy Hook. And anyway, they said this article came out on Truth Social that Biden's DOJ, this is from Jack Posobiec, is trying to seize AJ's $2,000 cat. And there's a video that says, watch, Biden's DOJ ridiculously trying to seize Alex and Jones's $2,000 cat. And then he said, the line is in the sand. I'm sorry, you cannot take my cat. So it's a human interest story, but it just shows you that there's something wrong. There's something really wrong. You know, maybe little stories like that will get people who aren't paying attention to say, wait a minute, what's our federal government doing trying to take somebody's cat? And another one that came out earlier tonight, it was probably about 6 o'clock, that Russia launched an unmanned spacecraft to rescue a stranded U.S. astronaut and some cosmonauts. Have you all heard that yet? That they're up there in the International Space Station, and Russia's launched an unmanned craft to rescue them. They found themselves stranded. The crew found themselves stranded after a micrometeoroid punctured a hole in the craft. So they're up there in the International Space Station, and they're not having a very good time. And there's a photograph of the outside of the space station spewing something, and where this micrometeoroid punctured the hull. So we got U.S. astronauts up there, and they also have cosmonauts. So this is going to be a very interesting story. I can't believe there isn't something on the regular network news like CBS, ABC, all them, where we used to get our news from Ted Koppel and Walter Cronkite. This is a human interest story, a space rescue. But why do they not want to bring it up? Because of Putin? Because of no, this is humanity. This is human interest. So Pappy Two Bear said he heard it. The other craft was damaged by a microstrike. So I heard about 6 o'clock this evening, but I didn't. Where's the fake news on the astronauts? That's right. I mean, that's dramatic. I mean, that's movie material, and it's U.S. citizens. So anyway, I don't know what they're trying to push beyond that. Well, Trump was asked about the Nord Stream pipeline, and he gave a statement that I'm sure everybody is tuning into as far as foreign powers and the Biden administration. And this is the storm has arrived on Twitter, put this up. And he said that the POTUS 47 was asked if the Biden administration blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. He said, well, it could have been us, and it could have been Ukraine, and it could have been some third party country that wants to see trouble. The one group it wasn't was Russia. That's the one thing I could tell you for sure. These people are sick, I'm telling you. So he ruled out Russia 100%, and he also made a quote from the 17th letter. These people are sick. That's almost verbatim. Then he went on to say, but it could have been working in conjunction with United Kingdom, because Ukraine has total dominance over the United States. Total dominance. So again, he put out the word that who's running this country, and it's Ukraine and the interests with Ukraine. Ha ha! Patriot Starfighter said a spaceship fell on him. Hi, Debbie. Okay, I'm just looking through the chats. Good for you, cameraman. 35 years. So anyway, it'd be interesting to see where we get any news from that, whether or not we get any. Now, let's see. I got another report about another American mercenary that bit the dust over in UKR. And this is odd. They put a meme up somebody made of him where it says nice lipstick. And I'll try to remember to put a picture of this on my picture show Sunday. You all can take a look at it and decide for yourselves. Okay. But I don't think they created the meme because the person passed away. It's just they took his picture a while back and pointed out that they felt he was wearing lipstick. But on February 16th, American mercenary, I guess I could say his name, Andrew Peters, a former U.S. Army soldier and veteran of Afghanistan, was eliminated. The place and circumstances of the liquidation are unknown. So that's another one. I said there were going to be a lot of reports of mercenaries. If we ever get a true count, people are going to be surprised. But as far as it looks like he's wearing lipstick to me. I'll try to remember to put it up. Yeah, hit the like button, Angel said. By my own fault, I don't have Nikki here sticking up for me. Oh gosh, I left that banner up. But anyway, yeah, I got a buy me a coffee. I didn't know I had that banner up all that time. Sorry about that. Put something up. Let me put something up to finish up with. There we go. No one playing the game gets a pass. How about that? I'll put that up. That's better than that banner up all this time. Hi, Doug. How are you doing? So anyway, I'm right at the end of the broadcast, Doug. I'll be darned. So anyway, we will get together Sunday night. How's that sound? 8:00. We're going to have, I hope everybody did hit the thumbs up for crying out loud. We're going to have a picture show, and I'll talk about, I'll put up a couple of video clips and talk about some things that I haven't talked about because it's hard to not show some things, just talk. Let's see. That's right, Donna. They don't want to put Russia in a positive light. It's sickening. They should. Haha, thank you, Debbie. All right, folks. Well, I appreciate you all spending not just your time, it's your precious time. And don't waste your precious time on things that are not germane or unnecessarily disturb you or take you away from what we all grew up with, what we all were taught, the word, what's in the book. Don't go beyond that. The focus has been from Putin, from Trump, from a lot of leaders that this is a battle between good and evil, and we will come out on top. Thank you again, and y'all have a great evening. This is Mountain Man, over and out.